before you tonight is an accomplishment that I once believed to be impossible. Like many of us, my path to graduation was not straightforward. But adversity has a way of introducing us to ourselves, and as we see here tonight, what we're capable of doing.
My name's Alexandra Benson, and I'm graduating with public health from Butte College. Well, I grew up in Butte County in the foster care system, and coming out of the foster care system, there isn't a lot of direction or guidance, but I knew that I wanted to be educated, and Butte College was always something that I looked at as stable. I was always in awe of people going to college, really into community, and so it was an easy choice for me. It took me a long time to graduate. It took me almost 2 decades, 19 years. And over that time, I became a mother. I was emancipated at 17, and then I went through a 10-year DV relationship, which sometimes prevented me from coming to school, hence the 19 years. I would have to drop classes, not come to school for certain reasons, make excuses to my instructors, and then coming out of that, cleaning up the wreckage really extended my stay here. But by the end of that, I had honed in on what I wanted to do, and I went from having a really messy transcript to being, Phi Theta Kappa honors, getting biology awards from the department, and felt so supported and on the right path. I was so grateful for all of those challenges because it showed me how strong I was, how capable I was. And again, coming back to Butte, I always felt supported. There was an always, it's never too late. You can always start, there's no labels here, you just are who you are. And you're so supported, it's a launch pad. It was for me.